Hi, this is Don, and I'm going to give a quick demo of the StoryMaker technology. Now, the front end is MediaWiki. So there's a MediaWiki server here, and it talks to the back end, which is written in Python, and that is handling the database and all the content. So we can embed, there's several clients that talk to this server. We can embed the Flash client in the MediaWiki, and you can now tag the scenes of your story with geolocation. So, for example, if we pick a card here, San Francisco, it now has a little link on it because it has a position on the map, and we can click on that, and it flips out of Flash. The Flash player is still running underneath, but it opens up a Google Maps component. And one of the neat things about the Google Maps component is that we can do overlays. For example, this is a Kml overlay, which the Python server is generating, that both Google Maps and Google Earth and other programs know how to let you put points of interest and lines onto the map. So we just dump out the entire branching storyline as KML so we can view it on the map. And also there's the panoramio layer of pictures that are geotagged, and those come in handy when we want to make new scenes. So let's see. So here's a place I've been working on. So here's the Amsterdam card, and we can go in there, and there's different branches you can make. So let's just go straight to that card on the map and turn on Show Scenes. And okay, so it branches off in a couple directions. And for example, we might want to go down here to the park, or we might want to go over here to the ferry. So the neat thing here, they're both here. So we'll go to the ferry, because I know you like industrial stuff, and across. And then there's an old Russian submarine that's half sunken. And then there's these other cool things like a office building built on the frame of a crane track. So that's really cool. So you can go look at that. That's what it looks like from above. Maybe there's a drive-by view. Oh yeah. Yay. So anyway, we got a lot of great stuff by leveraging Google Map component and then being able to script stuff on top of it. So anyway, so when we make a new scene, you can hit the plus button, and now it has a little earth. It starts you out at the location of the previous thing that had a location. So maybe we could go, okay. Oh, here's another good view of it. So this gets it from Panoramio, and it makes a link. You can set both the picture and the location and the text just by clicking there. So we get a proper Panoramio credit, and then it has the picture. So then when we can write our own stuff here. So anyway, so that saves out. That's now on the server there. So one of the neat things about the back end, there is a administrative interface, so I can look at all the sandboxes. There's Urban Safari. It's got a bunch of storylines. It has a start scene. We can go browse the scene. There's the scene. That scene appears in a bunch of storylines. That scene has 14 next scenes. So we can just browse around. And then when we get to a scene, there's certain editing things we can do. We can change the text. Maybe we can hide it if it's objectionable. We can look at its place and go change the coordinates of the place. So a place can be shared by several scenes. So if I wanted to change the location of this, I could just drag that out from under there and then hit submit. So, or delete the place or reassign a different place. So basically the administrative interface lets you just look at everything, and as I need it, I'm putting in more features to edit everything. So like here's a storyline, shows all this is the sequence there. So and we'll have nicer presentations of these things too. So anyway, okay, back to this. One neat thing is we've extended MediaWiki by integrating the users. We have the same users on both sites, the same database, and we've added these special tags to insert dynamic content into the thing. That's how we embed the Flash application. But there's all these other special pages that are on tabs. So see, we, create new user, forgot password, look at your profile, and then you can look at a storyline in here. So, but of course you have to give it a handle. But anyway, so it's nicely integrated in MediaWiki, so we can embed it. So anyway, this is the iPhone app. It's very flexible, and a neat thing about it is the user interface is configured from this file. So we can change a lot of the menus and things by just putting in new items. So anyway, so the app itself, you can log in and log out and then create a new user. And then once you're logged in, you can go look at the story. Now, we have this gestural interface of stroking to the left to go to the next scene, stroke to the left to go to the next scene again. Or we can also spin this to get different alternatives, like that. Now, some of these have geolocations, and we can just click that, and then it brings us to the Google Map component. This is a different Google Map component. This is the iPhone Objective-C Google Map component. Not quite as fancy as the one in the web browser, but we can draw overlays and put points of interest on it. So I'll be making an overlay that shows the path of the story up to here. So, so you can go to your current location on the map, or you can go to the location of the scene. So pretty much, this is a similar feature for the iPhone. So let's pop out a little bit and go to the Amsterdam scene, and just like, for example, the checkbox just goes to the next one, or you could stroke up to go to the next, and then that's the one I want. Go across the river, see that. There's that neat crane spore, and then this should be the one. Oh, there's several, yeah. So there's 3 different alternatives. Yeah, and then I can just go to here on the map. And there it is. I think we should give the user editing abilities of their own content for this use, because, for the TV show, maybe you don't want people editing things after they submit them. But it would be very nice to be able to bring up the map in edit mode on anything you already submitted and change the text and all that for the purpose of this. So, here's the thing. Left-handed people will love this. You just take the thing and drag it over here. So, unfortunately, it doesn't support upside-down people, but we'll try to accommodate them. So anyway, the iPhone app there, you can reconfigure it just to focus on the picture, for example, and then you can still navigate through it like that. So anyway, so this is good for a reader as well as a creator. So if I wanted to create a new thing, I could hit the plus button. Now I'm in creation mode, and you can get photos from several sources. This is just the emulator, so it doesn't really have a camera. But there's Flickr. Then you can have preloaded searches, like for bacon. Oh yeah. Okay, so we just grabbed an image from Flickr. I'll look into getting geolocation from that. I can look if there's a geolocation in the file itself and use that. But the idea is, here's the type in some description. Now I've added this little Earth icon, and that views and/or sets the geolocation. Now it will start out initially on the previous location, but then we can, maybe zoom out a little bit. Or zoom in, zoom out. And move over a little bit. and then set it. You can either set it, or once it's set, you can clear it. So if you had a picture that had a geolocation, then you didn't actually want that picture's geolocation. So, and then you can go to wherever you currently are or to the scene. So the workflow here, you know, I want to make it very easy. Just take a picture, tag it as here, take a picture. Maybe the tagging is here will be automatic, and flow of adding a series of images really quick. So, and tagging them and writing a description. So anyway, so I've added that new one and tagged it, and I'll just hit the checkbox, and then that's in the server. So it is a Facebook app. So it talks to the same server that has all the data, and it renders it for Facebook. So you can go to the StoryMaker app, and it has a little. No, this is just a prototype for. This is what the end users will see, but it lets us browse all the data, and it automatically makes you a user when you add it from Facebook. And it has a list of all the sandboxes, so we can go look at the Urban Safari sandbox. And that has a little Unity app that visualizes it, but this is the old version. So, let's see, it has all the storylines that are in it, and also a link to the start scene. And so
create your own Urban Safari.
So this has links to all the next scenes, and it uses a little voice synthesizer on the web.
Amsterdam, Netherlands. Panorama picture credits Amsterdam author Javier Her.
So we can take the ferry across. And
take the leftmost ferry to NDSM and see the Russian sub, Panorama. Don't miss Grand Sport. Built on an old crane track, Panorama.
All right. So, and I think, okay, so we've gone down.
Urban Safari.
And this is a storyline that represents. So we can look at the whole storyline, and we'll have a nicer way of presenting a storyline as a slideshow. But, and here's one approach to a nicer way. So we can export this storyline as a Facebook album, and it's also able to import it too. So, all right, I'm working on that actually. But so if we go to photos, it's just made a new album here. We'll go to that. And the nice thing about Facebook albums is you can edit them by dragging things around, and you can click on them and get a little slideshow. And also it includes links and a link back to the StoryMaker page. So when we import the album, we can identify which object it is by those links and import it. Any changes you've made.
Catch a ferry to the north. Panorama picture credits Amsterdam author
so we can bring them back to the app. Now, one thing it can do, this is the part I'm working on, is re-import that or make a new storyline out of a new album. So basically, it looks at the album and identifies, oh, this is that existing thing, and I'll replace it and update it. So anyway, importing and uploading to Facebook will be nice. And also I want to add the ability to recognize tags and support tags throughout the system on images. That'll be fun. This is the Unity 3D client that talks to the same server, and it is programmed in C#, and this is the editor that lets you run programs and develop content. And also edit the objects as they're running. So we're going to run the simulation, and it will start downloading scenes of a story. And we'll pop back to the editor view here to see that it's making a tree of scenes. And we're looking at one, and if we hit the space bar, we'll go to the next one, and then go to the next. So we can go up and down the tree, and also fly around. So, and then we can move them by using the arrow keys, and they just pull each other around. So if we look at the dynamic view here, you see as it's downloading these things, it's making more and more of them. And so each scene has a little script, and it uses an atlas, which is an image with a whole bunch of little images to download small images when you're not looking at them closely, and then incrementally download bigger images. So, for example, these little ones are low res, but if we click on them, it'll pop in a higher res one. So, yeah. So you can just go anywhere by clicking. And anyway, this is a good starting point for coming up with interesting visualizations, and it will be really interesting once we start integrating the geolocation stuff with it. Certainly we can display these on a globe.